Round off the following numbers to 3 significant figures as well as to 3 decimal places. So the number given to you is 20.04091. Okay, so let's look at how this can be done. So 20.04091. So the first thing is we need to identify where is the first significant figure starts. So 2 is the first significant figure, and then the 0, which is the digit right after that. As we move from the left to right, it's a second significant digit, and this 0 is the third significant digit. So we are supposed to round off to 3 significant figure. So what is the steps that you need to follow in order to get to that correct number of significant figure? You have to look immediately at the digit after the significant digit which the question is asking you for. So you want to find to 3 significant figure. So you should look at the digit after that significant digit, which is the third significant digit in this case. So of course the number you should be looking at is number 4, right? And after that you have to check and see, is it 0, 1, 2, 3 or 4? Okay, so or you can just simply consider that as, is it less than 5 or 5 and more, right? So in this case it is 4. So if it is a no, then you have to add 1 to the significant digit, but of course that's not the case now. It's a 4, so you should follow this path, which is a yes. So if it is a yes, then what you're going to do is change all the digit after the significant digit to 0. That means after the third significant digit, so we're going to change the rest of the numbers all into zeros, right? So this is the next step that you need to do. And after you have done that, then the next question you're going to ask is, did I make that, the change all the digits after the significant digit to 0? Did it happen after the decimal dot or before the decimal dot? So if the change is after the decimal dot, of course you're going to have a yes or no answer, right? So if the answer is no, okay, that means the change did not happen before the decimal dot or after the decimal dot, then write zeros up to the decimal dot. Else, so in this particular case, of course the changing to all the zeros happened after the decimal dot. So what we're going to do is do not write the zeros. That means we're going to drop off all the zeros. So once you remove that, so the answer becomes to 3 significant digit or 3 significant figure will be 20.0. So you just keep following through this sequence or this flow chart, and you will be able to get to the right number of significant figures. So this is the methodology of how you should be thinking and doing. So now let's look at how to round off to 3 decimal places. The significant figures are different, decimal places are different. So let me just write down all the numbers now, and that is after the decimal dot. Okay, this is the decimal dot. So your first decimal place starts after the decimal dot. So this is where your first decimal place actually starts. So that's a first decimal place, that's a second decimal place, and the 0 is the third decimal place. So the question requires you to round off to 3 decimal places. So once again, what are the steps or the flow chart? Okay, we need to look at the digit after the needed decimal place. So we need 3 decimal places, right? So we're going to look at the digit after. So in this particular case, what's the number we're going to look at? Of course we're going to look at number 9. Then once again you're going to ask the question, is it between is it what 0, 1, 2, 3 or 4? Of course the answer is no. If it is no, then what we're going to do is we're going to add 1 to the needed decimal place. The needed decimal place is the third decimal place, right? So we're going to add a 1 to the 0. Okay, so to here, to this position. So if you're going to add a +1 to here, and of course that's going to become, instead of 40, it's going to become 41. And thereafter, okay, even if it was a yes, then you're going to follow this, right? But of course in this case we are just following this path. Change all the digits after the significant digits. Okay, not significant, it should be decimal digit that we are trying to look at. Okay, So in this case is a 9 and a 1, so this 9 as well as a 1 is going to be changed to a 0. Then once again we're going to ask the same question like we did with the significant figure. Did this change happen after the decimal dot? Okay, the decimal dot is here, so this changes to 0 happened after the decimal. Therefore this too has got no values. So the answer is not a no for this case. So we're going to follow the yes path. So do not write the zeros that you were supposed to write. So when you do that, you're going to get 20.041 is the answer if you round off to 3 decimal places. So of course the option that gives you both of it's correct. To 3 significant figure is 20.0 and to 3 decimal place is 20.041, because 9 we have to carry 1 to the third decimal place, so 20.041. But for 3 significant figures, so the first significant figure is going to start here, 2. First significant, second significant, and then the third significant. When we look at the next number, it's a 4, so we don't carry forward. So it's going to be just 20.0. And of course, the question requires you to only round off to 3 significant figure. The rest of it, you just drop it because it doesn't make any sense for you to write down the 4091 as a 0000, right? But this 0 is, even though it is 20.0 is the same as 20, but because the question requires you to write down to 3 significant figure, you must leave it as 20.0. So we know that it has been rounded off to 3 significant figure.